Rescuezilla is a free and open source program designed for creating backups and restoring entire operating systems along with all the data from your hard drive. In other words, this program allows you not only to recover your operating system, but also to preserve all the images, videos, text, programs, and similar data you had on your hard drive. This functionality is extremely useful in case your computer gets infected with a virus or a malware, experience an operating system crash, or suffer hard drive damage. Rescuezilla enables you to restore everything to its original state, even if you are unable to boot your operating system, as the program runs from a USB device and can be used on all major operating systems, Windows, Linux, and Mac. To use this program for backup and recovery, you will need a USB device and an ISO file that we will download from the official website. The link will be in the video description, and you will also find the link to GitHub, where you can review the program's source code, as it is an open source project. When you visit the website, look for the section that says Download Version and the number of the latest version. When you click on this button, you will be redirected to another page with instructions on how to create a USB live disk. Click the link in the Download the latest live image section to download the ISO file. If you are using Linux or Mac, you can create a USB using balenaEtcher, while for Windows you can use Rufus, which we will do in this case. When we launch Rufus, all we need to do is select the ISO file we downloaded from the Rescuezilla website and then click Start button. Then choose the writing method. The first option, write in ISO image mode, allows you to later add more data to the USB, which is recommended option if you are using a large capacity USB. The second option, write DD image mode, prevents any new data from being saved to the disk after creation, which can be useful in certain situations. We will select the first option, after which we will receive a warning that the contents of the USB will be completely erased. We click OK and wait for the process to complete. Once the process is successfully completed, we will restart the computer and select the USB from the boot menu to launch the Rescuezilla program. When the program starts, you will see all the options. The first option is Backup, which is used to creating backups of your data. The second option is Restore, which is used to restoring the data. The third option is Clone, which is used for cloning, in other words, creating identical copies of your hard drive. This option is useful if you have multiple computers with the same specifications. For example, if you need to install the same operating system with the same settings and data on several computers at work. Instead of installing and configuring each computer separately, you can do it once and then apply that solution to all other computers. The fourth option, Verify Image, is used to verify the created backup, in other words, to check if there were any errors during the backup creation. The fifth option is Image Explorer, which allows users to browse the contents of the previously created disk images. First we will select the backup option, after which we will choose which device we want to back up, if you have more than one. The program will usually display which disk contains the operating system, in our case it is Windows, and we will select this disk by clicking on it. After we click Next button, we will get the option to choose which partition of the given disk we want to back up. If you are unsure what each partition does, it is best to select them all. In this case, we have 5 partitions that Windows creates during the system installation, and we will leave all of them selected. After you click Next, you need to choose the location where you want to save the backup. Of course, you will not be able to save this data on the disk you want to back up. If you have an external hard drive, it is best to save this data there, which I will do. If you do not have an external hard drive, you can save the data on a separate partition or USB. When you click on the disk where you want to save the data, you will see the location where the data will be saved in the upper section. If you want to save them in a different folder, click the Browse button and select the desired folder. You will then have the option to name your backup. The program will automatically assign a name, but it is advisable to change this to make the restoration process easier for yourself. It is recommended to give a name that clearly indicates what the backup is and when it was created. For example, I will leave the date at the beginning so that I know when I created the backup, and I will write Windows 11 Rescuezilla to know exactly what I backed up and which program I used. When we click Next, we will have the option to choose the format and compression level of the files. This option allows the size of the backup files to be smaller than the size of the actual disk you are backing up. For example, if you have a 1 TB hard drive with about 400 GB of used space, the backup file will be compressed to approximately 100 GB. Although it is possible to increase the compression further in this section to reduce the size of the compressed files even more, it is recommended to leave this section at their default values, as the higher compression increases the potential of errors. When we click Next button, we will receive a summary of the settings we have made. Check to ensure everything is as you want it to be, and if it is, click the Next button again, after which the backup process will begin. Depending on the size of the hard drive and the amount of data on it, the process can take anywhere from a few minutes to several hours. Once the process is complete, you will receive a summary of the results. As you can see, the process has been successfully completed. Although the process was successful in our case, it is recommended to perform verification by going to Verify Image and then selecting the backup you want to check. In this way, you will eliminate the possibility of errors occurring during the backup creation. Now we will perform the data recovery. The recovery process is the same as the backup process, just in reverse. When you click on Restore, you will first select the location where your backup is stored. Then you will have the option to choose which backup you want to select if you have more than one. In our case, we only have one, so we'll select that one. Next, you will choose the hard drive to which you want to restore the data, and you will have the option to select the partitions you want to recover. Finally, you will receive a summary of the settings. If everything is as you want it to be, confirm your selection by clicking the Next button, after which the process of restoring your data will begin. The restoration process usually takes as long as the backup creation process, meaning that depending on the size of your hard drive and the amount of data on it, the process can take anywhere from a few minutes to several hours. Once the process is successfully completed, boot your operating system and check if everything has been restored to its original state. Thanks to everyone who took the time to watch this video. I hope you find it useful or at least informative.